Hello and welcome to Talking About Talking, the first podcast started by commentators exclusively. I'm your host, Shane Dunn. This is my co-host, Bryce Cohen, senior at Ireland Central. Bryce,
Pleasure to be here. It's great. Got a really good podcast in store.
Just tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a senior at Ireland Central, looking to go to college for broadcast journalism. I've been commentating for the last 4 years. I've always had a huge interest in sports and music, so really fortunate to be in a crew like Bench Banter. You know, all came together. Shane hit me up about the project, and we've been working super hard ever since. So it's just an absolute blast to be here. We've got a really good show for you guys today.
And also, not to mention, Merry Christmas, everybody. And we're going to be doing these probably weekly. And our first guest on our first episode, Jeff Bekerian, Lord Quads. Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, Rob. How are you?
I'm good. Jeff is a, what do you want to say, bodybuilder, right?
Yeah, so I competed in 2 bodybuilding shows, and I post on TikTok. I wouldn't say I'm like a content creator, but I kind of just bodybuild and then post the updates and just post like what's going on.
All right, I like that. So to start off, episode 1, I want to get a few shout-outs out of the way. First of all, Bella Hoffman. She's behind the camera right now. Thank you for filming all of our stuff like this. Abby, thank you for the setup. Another thing with this podcast is we're going to be changing setups semi-frequently. Shout out to Wyatt Lardieri. He is our 3rd co-host. Had some family stuff. Prayers out to him and his family. So we've been running a giveaway for almost a month on our first crew neck. So I have a wheel with a lot of names right here. So we're going to start off by spinning this. I'm just going to say who won. There's no way. And the winner is Matthew Evans 16. I actually know Matt. He was in my CSD video he entered. So Matt, if you're seeing this, DM me your size and stuff, and I'll get it to you for free. Thank you guys all who entered. It was a lot of fun to do it. We're going to be dropping merch in January. So let's start off this interview. You know, I wanted to introduce you as an ex-fat kid, being a fat kid myself. I mean, you went through a serious weight loss journey through lifting. I want you to kind of get into that. So where did that start? Like, where was the inspiration to lose weight coming from?
So, honestly, like, I first got in the gym, it was my senior year, and it was around, like, end of February, like, close to March. I was just, out of nowhere, like, through, like, January, I would occasionally go with, like, some of my friends, like, once a weekend. But then, like, I started talking to Chris Cab. Like, me and Chris Cab, like, really got close around that time, because we were playing soccer together, and this was when I had my license and he didn't. So, like, he was like, yo, can you drive me to the gym? So I was like, all right. So I drove him, and then we just started going every day. Like, it was just a consistent thing. And I think it was just that consistency is what just slowly, like, led to weight loss. Because I didn't really diet. I didn't really do anything, like, specific. I kind of just started working out, getting more active, and the weight just came off.
Were you bullied, like, heavily in high school or anything like that for your weight?
Okay, so I have gyno. So it's like a puffiness under your nipple.
I understand.
Gyno is like something you can get from steroid usage. And like I've had it since like 4th grade. So like
I get it.
you can see like I've always had it. So like throughout high school, like I was never like blatantly like overweight. You know what I mean? Like I could wear a shirt and look like a normal person. But when I would like lift up my shirt, I had like gyno, so it made it look like I had like breasts.
Okay.
So I had always had people like would clown me for it. Like if I was at like a pool party, like I would not take my shirt off. Like I was the type dude to like wear a swim shirt to the beach.
I gotcha.
So yeah, that was like a phase, and I would say like from like 4th grade to like 8th, that's when it was like bad.
So with gyno, like, and if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to, because that is sensitive. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
no,
no.
about that. But like, does that like flare up nowadays? Because you're shirtless in 90% of your content on TikTok.
Yeah.
So is that a tough thing you kind of have to go through? Like, do you get anything on social media talking about it? Does anybody notice it or anything like that?
Yeah. So you'll get like, so my account has a lot of traction. So I get like a lot of comments, and like I read all of them. So like I'll occasionally still see hate comments. Like people will say like gyno gladiator, or they'll be like just something about gyno. You know, it's funny. I laugh. Like I don't actually like. It doesn't affect me.
Okay.
But people will like accuse you of like steroids, because that's like the most, like one of the first side effects of getting on stuff. You get gyno under your nipples. So being a natural, it's like I'm natural. I've never touched anything, but now that like I post gym videos, people like think, oh, this dude's probably on like gear. But they didn't know me like in middle school, you know?
Yeah, and that's definitely a tough thing. Like, one of my favorite inspirations ever, The Rock, he suffered from gyno while he was professionally wrestling. And, like, he wore a T-shirt for 2 years because of it.
Yeah.
It was bad, and it was embarrassing, and everyone thought he was doing steroids and stuff. So, I mean, because you brought up Chris Cab, the big ongoing joke back in high school and even at Rutgers is that he's on steroids. So, like, what do you think are some misconceptions between, like, people that are always in the gym and just people just saying they're on steroids?
So, I'm going to be honest, when I first started lifting with him, I thought he was on steroids. Because he has literally the genetics of a Greek god. I'm not going to lie. And, like, I tell him this all the time, and, like, I will always vouch that he has never touched anything. Only because he doesn't know anything about it, and it's more like I've seen him grow, like, progressively, and, like, we grew at the same rate. Like, our strength both just started going up with consistency. And he's got, honestly, like, one of the best genetics I've ever seen. Like, he can eat anything he wants and get, like, bigger and leaner. It makes no sense, but...
No, because he was really thin in parts of high school. Like, me and Chris were actually supposed to fist fight once, and it's, like, a hilarious story. When I have him on, I'll talk about it more. But we were supposed to, like, fist fight, and he was a twig, and I was not afraid. If you put Chris Gavin in front of me now, he's one of the few people, I don't think I'm fighting him. Like, honestly, he's huge.
Yeah, and I've seen him box people, because occasionally, with the boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boxing might happen. I've seen him box, and he's a scary guy. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I've seen him box on videos a few times, and like it was actually a thing at the end of senior year. We wanted to throw together a charity boxing match, but I think it was Alyssa Donahue. She has like a ring in her basement, and she just would not let us do it, and I was so upset. But yeah, I was willing to get knocked out by Chris Cab for charity, and it would have been rough.
Wow. Yeah, so honestly, with the genetic part, so it's a lot easier to go from skinny to built than fat to skinny and then to built. Because usually, people that have like a fast metabolism, like Cab, you can go from skinny and then just keep eating whatever you want and never get fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's some people, like, you eat one cheeseburger and you're up like 2 pounds.
Yeah, I'll say it. I'm one of those people. My family and like people, a lot of people use the excuse of family and slow metabolisms. I was born with slow metabolism. Obviously, if I had everything perfect, I'd have a fast metabolism. I'm not perfect. I won't lie about it. I'm fat. But it's tough. There's a lot of things. So it's a big debate online. Do you think it is harder to lose weight as a fat person or gain weight as a person with a faster metabolism?
So the 2 ways I would definitely put it is losing weight is mentally way harder. Because gaining weight is more on the physical note. Gaining weight, you're eating food. You're forcing yourself to eat all this food. But on the cutting side, it's mental because it's like a mental game of like defeating the hunger. You know what I mean? So it's honestly balances out. There's no one's harder than the other because they both have their difficulties.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and on your TikTok page as well, you detail your struggles with nicotine addiction, recovering from that. What can you tell us about that from when you started lifting and up until this point?
So yeah, the reason I post about it is because I want to influence people to get off of that. Because not only is it bad for you as a teenager, but I just don't think it's a good habit to have. Because there's people that smoke all their life, and then that's how lung cancer comes. A bunch of bad things can come at it at a young age. So I actually vaped, I would say, end of freshman year of high school, and I was doing it for, I would say about like a year, 2 years, all through high school, and I right before senior year, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, because it was an everyday thing. It was more, I felt like I couldn't go out without it, and I was just always using it, so I actually like tried to hypnotize myself into hating it. So the way I quit, and I'm on my way to 3 years clean of nicotine, the way that I quit is I watched this video. It was like it was supposed to hypnotize you to quit, and you look at that and you're like, that's crap, like, that's not going to work. So I watched it, and it was this dude, and he went up to a random guy. He was like asking him questions, like hypnotizing him, saying like, do you vape? And then as it started going on, he was like, imagine the vape is dead. Imagine the vape also has a creme brulee pod in it. And then also think about the pod having sand in the tip, and it makes you not want to hit it. You know what I mean?
It's like the worst vape imaginable.
It's like the worst vape imaginable. That's what you need to imagine every time you see it. And for me, smelling nicotine, like, it's not pleasant, to be honest. Like, yeah, like, you'll smell it disposable, and it smells fruity. But after a while, like, sometimes you get a headache smelling it. So if you just put that in your head, it's easy to get off of. It's just hard to stay off of.
So for a lot of people, I think, and I work at Planet Fitness. Like I make memberships for people. I see a lot of nervous people walking into a gym for the first time. So I remember my first time in a gym vividly. I felt like I was on the track team and I was a shot putter. So not many small guys on a shot put team. So I felt very welcomed and I had a great team around me my freshman year when I started. What was your first time in a gym like?
So, honestly, Health Quest, going there that was the first gym I ever went to. I've never been to Planet. So I've never been to Planet. I've never even like walked inside. Like I've like driven past it. I've like been like right there, but I've never been inside. But Health Quest, the thing is like, I feel like when you're with a lot of people you're close with, you get a lot more comfortable. You know what I mean? So like, being there with my boys, and being there with people that aren't like, I feel like it's less judgeful at Health Quest. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I felt really comfortable there, even the first time I went. And I think just the consistency with, like, the emptiness when we were going, because we would always go after school. So it was just, like, just the people in high school. And I don't know, it was more welcoming than most people would feel like their first time is.
So working at Planet Fitness, you know, it's on every sign. This is a no judgment zone. We're not a gym. We're Planet Fitness. And it almost makes it 10 times more judgmental. It's almost so much worse. And I've worked at Planet Fitness more, mostly because I work there. But I've been to Health Quest, I want to say 5 times. And every time it felt so much better and so much different. Like, not even just because of the equipment, just the people you're around. I remember at Planet Fitness, no one wants to talk to you. Everyone just wants to, you know, not be seen at Planet Fitness. Health Quest, I dapped up 30 people every time I walked in. And another big thing is there's no cameras allowed in Health Quest. People still bring them in. But like Planet Fitness, it's absolutely off limits. But you kind of get to build, you know, your following and stuff. And you get to, like, what was the first time you saw someone else influencing people with a camera and doing their workouts like that?
So, first person I think I saw is Chungus Fitness. He goes to Rutgers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah, he went to my high school. He was on the track team with me.
Yeah, so I saw, like, one of, like, the first times I was there, like, my third day ever going to the gym, he was, like, PRing. And I'm in the video, like, in the background just watching, and he's deadlifting. And it was, like, a crazy number at the time. It was, like, 405 maybe, and he pulled it, and we were all like, oh my god, like, this dude jacked. So, like, I ended up recording the video of his bench PR, and I was thinking, like, okay, like, I need to ask this dude for, like, his number so I can send him the video. So I asked him for his number, and then he was like, Dylan Harrison, Instagram's like Chungus Fitness. So I was like, okay. So then I followed him, and then he was like posting gym content. And nobody else was posting gym content. Like, this was early. And I don't know, I think that it low-key inspired me because he was posting like transformation videos. And it made me want to do like a transformation video. Because I saw they were blowing up, and honestly, I wouldn't say I lost weight for the clout. But, like, I saw they were blowing up, and it more, like, inspired me. So I was like, he could do it, I could do it. And potentially get views, you know what I mean?
So would you say, like, gym culture has become, like, more or less toxic? Because everyone has different opinions on gym culture. Like what you say with Planet Fitness, like, everyone says it's a judgment-free zone, but it's super judgmental. And the Health Quest, which is, like, it's a premier gym. Would you say it's super toxic or the opposite?
So it depends on what's going on. If you go to the gym and you do everything you want to do, you can wear whatever you want. Nobody's going to say anything. But the moment you start looking like you have a high ego or ego lifting, which is something I used to actually do, always just trying to PR and think you're the man, you know what I mean? That will give you a bad rep in the gym because people will be like, oh, screw that guy. Like, he's so cocky. You know what I mean? But I think that's the only toxic part about it. Like, so seeing some people that are ego lifters and stuff. But other than that, I think that it's really good that all the younger people are getting into the gym. And I think we've noticed that with, like, freshmen and sophomores. Because I'll have people, like, DM me, and they're like, hey, I'm 15, I'm 14, I just started going to the gym. You got me in the gym, and it's crazy because most of us didn't start till senior year of high school, and seeing like all these kids are starting earlier, it's gonna start some big things in the gym community.
So with that, you brought up how some people ego lift and stuff, but even just like, because not everyone in there has an Instagram page, and not everyone in there has a TikTok and all that. So with that, does you walking into the gym already have like a stigma or something around you just because you have 40,000 on TikTok? Everyone in that gym sees your videos. Does it raise some eyebrows? Do people treat you differently since you got that following?
So I didn't think I wanted to talk about this, but I did get approached once by somebody that everyone knows at North. I don't know if he's a coach or a facility, but he coaches a bunch of guys at North. And I have it all on video because I was recording myself posing because I was 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding show. This was recently. This was like not even a month ago, maybe a month ago. I was posing in the locker room, and it's like 10 a.m. because I was going in the morning and then the middle of the day. So it was like 10 a.m. and I'm posing in the mirror, and this guy walks past me. The guy I'm talking about walks past me and he like scoffs. He's like, oh, this kid, man. So I'm like, I finally say something because he's been like chatting me like all the time, like clowning me because I post on Instagram. So he scoffs at me and I turn around and I'm like, yo, like what's your deal, man? I have the whole thing on video because I was recording myself originally.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's your deal, man? Like, why are you such a dick to me, right? And he's telling me my Instagram looks like an OnlyFans. He's telling me I'm a little twig. He's telling me like I should just stop recording myself and like I'm the reason all these kids are like posting and like recording themselves. And I'm like, you damn right. Like, you damn right I'm going to inspire people to like be positive, be like, think better of themselves, you know what I mean? Because that's the impact I'm trying to put on people. And this guy, he was just preying on my downfall and just...
So it's kind of funny you brought that up. A lot of people, like this is the first time we're really seeing cameras in a gym. Ever. People have been working out 40 years. Yeah, Arnold had a camera crew following him. But nobody can just do it with no one could do it with just themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that's like positive for gym culture? Or do you think, because some people in there, because I've been to Health Coast, like I said, and there's always cameras there. And it's a cool thing. Some people in there, I don't like when they use camera. I'm not going to name names just like you didn't because I'm not going to be rude. But like Chris, I love when he does it because I feel like he sets up a camera, does his lift, takes it down. There's nothing, except for like his bench PR, there's nothing extra. There's no crowd around him. It's usually just him and somebody spotting him. Do you think it's a positive or a negative to have cameras in a gym at all times?
So I think there's reasons for cameras. Like, I send videos to my coach because he'll be like sending me a new workout to try out. And he'll be like, all right, send me a video, you're doing it. I need to make sure you're doing it right. Make sure you're training at like the right intensity. So like I'll record a video for my coach and then I can use that to post, you know what I mean? So I think if you're recording for a purpose and not just because you want to be a YouTuber or you want to be like a filmer and be famous, I think that it's okay, you know what I mean? Like, I know you're talking about with cab, people like all the power lifters, they literally set up the tripod, record, lift, done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing recently and that's where all my content has been. I just don't want to like, when I first started, I was taking a lot of videos like purposefully, like just doing pull-ups or like doing stuff that doesn't really need to be on video just for the content. But I more transitioned to like recording things that benefit me or benefit my coach, like viewing, and then just using that as content.
So you said when you were in the locker room in that story you told about the North coach, you were 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding competition. So tell me a little bit about how you've been doing this bodybuilding stuff and what competitions you've been a part of.
So this January / like February, it was like end of January, my uncle, he's been competing for a long time. So he's been competing in bodybuilding and he was like, hey, like there's this show in May. And this is when I was like almost a year into lifting. Not even though, like 8 months into lifting. He was like, hey, like you got good genetics, like let's do this bodybuilding show in May. So I'm thinking about it and I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to do it, like I need a coach and I'm not going to be able to do it myself. So I was at the gym and I saw this guy, his name's Mark Ligori. I can say his name because I love him. He's literally the man. He's literally the reason that all this is possible because he introduced me to my coach. I was talking to him. I was like, hey, like, I need a bodybuilding coach. He's like, yeah, hit up my buddy, Alan Jean. That's my coach. That's who I've been working with for this whole year. And not a single bad thing I could say about him. So we start prepping for the show. And this is a 17-week prep. So this is a long prep for the show because I had no foundation. Like, my coach took me in, and I was fat. Like, I was really, like, dirty bulked. And he was like, I don't know how this is going to work out, but, like, we'll do it. So I paid him. And we were about 5 weeks out. And my grandpa passed away, which was my uncle's dad. So my uncle's dad passed away, and he decided he was going to pull out of the show and not do it because dealing with, like, grief and stuff when you're going through, like, losing one of your parents and dieting, like, that's impossible. Like, some people deal with grief eating, and stress eating is a big thing. So he went into that, and I was like, I'm so close to this show, like, I'm not backing out, like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. It was in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. I got first in teen bodybuilding and then bantamweight. That was, like, the weight class. And then I took the whole summer off. I needed to, like, lay back because I did 17 weeks of dieting. I went out with my friends, like, I had a good time. I kind of lost, like, my love for bodybuilding because after that show, I got rid of my coach. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I give up. August, I text my coach. I'm like, I'm not giving up. I want to be back on it. Because in the summer, I felt myself falling off. So we started working together. And then October comes, and Mark's in the gym. And I'm like, what's up, Mark? And he's like, hey, like, there's a bodybuilding show in 5 weeks. And, like, you look good right now. You should do it. So I was like, I don't know. Like, I was bulking. I only had 5 weeks to get ready. He was like, yeah, you just got to know by tomorrow if you're doing it. So I texted my coach. I'm like, MPC Easterns, are we doing it or what? He was like, you say the words yes. You got, like, till tonight to let me know. I was like, I just said yes on the spot. And we started prepping. So the show I just did in November was only 5 weeks to prep. So a month and a week. I ended up placing third. It was, like, a top show in the U.S. So, like, to do that one first, you'd be insane with what he looks like. 18 years old, like, lasting gear, but yeah, so I've competed in 2 shows. I got first in the first one and then third in the second one. And yeah, it's been a long process. I don't know if I'm going to do another one for a while because I kind of want to bulk up, get bigger, and not transition to powerlifting, but really focus on just getting strong and big.
So on your TikTok, you have the nickname and username Lord Quad. So can you tell me, like, where did that come from?
All right, so most people that were watching my content in the summer of last year, that's really when I first started. My username was Beck Jeff, and, like, a lot of people called me that for a while. It was like my last name is, because my first name is Jeff, last name is Bekerian, so we just sort of did, like, B-E-K, Jeff. So I had that for a while, and then I actually don't know the date I switched it to Lord Quads. I think it was because, like, somebody at the gym, I need to find out, like, I'm going to find out when I switched it. I want to find out who called me that. Somebody called me, like, Lord Farquads because I was, like, peak bulk. And but it wasn't, like, clowning me because I'm, like, kind of short. It was more like, oh, like, you look like Lord Farquads. It was, like, my quads. And I was like, I don't like the far part, but Lord Quads is kind of sick. And then I switched it to that, and people just started calling me Quads because it's, like, short. And, like, I never had a nickname. It was just Jeff.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people, like, call him by their, like, last name, or some people get called by something else, but people started calling me Quads, and I just stuck with it because it was, like, unique, you know, like.
Yeah, so we see the quads on your chest. You want to talk about, I mean, you're dropping some hoodies. They're not restocking. So by the time this comes out, those hoodies are already done for. But you're going to have some new stuff coming out soon, right?
Yeah, so I have a new collection coming out. I'm going to get a bunch of extra hoodies, so there's going to be, like, a day where they're going to be available, but only, like, a small quantity. Yeah, so the first drop, this is the hoodie. It's a 400 GSM, so it's the same weight as, like, a Yeezy hoodie, or, like, an Essentials one. And you felt it before, so you could vouch for the quality.
Yeah, so I'm putting out merchandise soon for BWB, and I pray to God it feels like that, because, like, and I won't BS, we already did the hot sauce thing. None of us are lying on this podcast. I want one. That's a nice hoodie. It's heavy, and I like heavy hoodies. It's better quality than I would have ever expected from someone in college just putting out their own merchandise. So I'll give you credit for that.
I appreciate that. And like the hood is kind of big, but it's double layered. If you can see this.
I do.
Because sometimes when you get embroidery done, you'll see it inside here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want it double layered so you can't see that. Because it would have looked weird if there was like a white line just like in here. So like the hood can go deep, like real low. But it's a very comfortable hoodie. Yeah, the next drop is... the only thing I'll spoil is it's a bat theme. I'm not going to say what pieces are coming out. But everything is going to be limited because... I want every item to be a collectible, kind of. So people that are OGs will have the hoodies. And then once it's at the top, because it's going to be at the top, once it's at the top, all the OGs will have their clothes, you know?
Yeah, 100%. What
got you into starting your brand? Like, because I know you were posting, like, those TikToks of, like, I know you were posting, what was it? It was, like, talking over, like, an NBA clip and then, like, rating something, or it was, like, talking about somebody's career.
So, I started doing YouTube back in 2019. I was a sophomore in high school. It was really funny. I didn't tell anyone. Like, I had a girlfriend at the time. I didn't even tell her about it until, like, probably a month before we broke up. So, in 2019, I made this video. Are you a big basketball fan?
Yeah.
So, do you remember when Kawhi Leonard was picking between the Raptors, Lakers, and Clippers?
Yeah.
No one thought he was going to the Clippers.
No.
So, and this is through 2K. I decided I was going to make a video that was like, what if Kawhi went to the Clippers? Gets 200 views the first day. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I just kept doing it. That was called Shaney 2K. Kawhi goes to the Clippers. It was cool. I predicted a bunch of cool stuff on there. Like, I predicted Tom Brady going to Tampa before he left the Patriots.
That's fun.
Like, I've done a bunch of stuff like that. And I interviewed, I think, 17 people there. And then through that, I started writing, which I've interviewed probably like over 10 people there. And I've interviewed my camerawoman, Bella, on her birthday. It was cool. And I don't know, I got very upset because then this company hired me named Divine Sports Gospel, and they're amazing. Shout out DSG. But it was like, I felt like I never really fit in, and it wasn't from them. They're a California-based, like, brand. So all their stuff was Padres, and they'd be talking bad about the Dodgers. I'm talking about, like, the Knicks, and no one would care. So I was like, how can I do this in a way where it feels like I'm benefiting, but not only that, like, I'm benefiting other people. And originally I wanted to go to Boston, and I wanted to try and become part of Barstool Sports. And then I was like, I'm not big enough yet. And then my friend Bryce here, we both commentate. I've been trying to commentate with him for a while. I was like, well, Bryce couldn't get into Barstool either if he tried. And then my friend Wyatt, who will be another co-host on here eventually, he's at Montclair right now commentating. Not enough, doesn't have a rep enough to go to Barstool. So then I was thinking, I was like, how can I get people to at least... Because this might not be the end-all be-all for Bryce. If Bryce becomes an NBA commentator, I'm the happiest guy in the world. I hope you quit this one day and you get something bigger. But I want to be able to build a brand for people that wouldn't have the chance without. Like Keller, for example. He's in our company. He's a junior in high school. He had never made a piece of content before Benchmark Banter. Now he pulls in like our third most views. And he really likes it. And you can tell in his face. Like, he's always happy. He always looks happy to be there. So... the plan initially was just build a brand for people that couldn't do it themselves. Because I've been doing it longer than anybody else, coming up on 4 years. And the next plan is kind of to, and I've had this idea for a while with the company I write for, the Dispatch, I want to give athletes a backup plan. And I'm talking about people that could go to the league or something like that, but like it's not for sure. A lot of them could have a career in sports, and a lot of them will do a business major or something, and they don't have a fallback plan. I'm trying to give athletes, their fallback plan is sports content. So that's like the main goal. One day I would love to have where like a 5-star high school running back is also making videos for me.
Yeah.
That's my biggest goal. But yeah, Benchmark Banter, like the name, it came 2 years ago. I started a podcast. One episode didn't work out. Tried again, one episode didn't work out. So then I saved it, and I feel like this was the best chance to execute it, and it's gone great. We started on the 29th of October. It's December 25th as this is coming out. So it's been a journey like nothing I've ever done, because I've done a lot of cool stuff with my content. I've gotten to go a lot of cool places. But nothing has been as intricate and as cool as this, and watching not only myself get excited for views, but for the first time I'm watching 8 other people get excited when we hit milestones, like 1 million total views. And I'm really thankful, and this is to everybody that's watching this in the company. Thank you guys for taking the risk on me, for real. Because it could have just been a dud and people would have said, oh, like, that failed. And that's my biggest fear, is easily failure. Because I failed with a lot of things in my life, but since graduating, honestly, I've decided, who cares if I fail? I could fail 100 times, but if one thing works out, and I feel like this has worked out so far, I'm happy. And I've never been happier with my content. Like, I vlogged in high school. I've never been happier than with the content I've gotten from this.
Yeah. Do you feel like you had a good transition going from doing, like, high school vlogs to finally doing something that, like, I would say, do you feel like you were pressured to make more vlogs because of the people at your high school? Or did you just keep doing it because it was something you loved?
So there are points, like last January, I was the most depressed, one of the most depressed I've ever been. I was very sad, and I wasn't making vlogs for a little bit, and people would ask me to, and I just didn't want to at that point. And then I kept saying, every time I don't vlog, I'm going to regret it when I'm 30, and I can't look back at high school. So at the end, it almost felt like I was doing it for everyone else in my graduating class in my school. And, like, I'll still see people, like, when I'm working at Planet Fitness, somebody will come in from college and be like, oh, when's your next vlog coming out? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to vlog again because I put all, like, I'll be honest, like, I failed out the first semester of RD. I put all of my attention into Banter and Banter. Like, 1,000% of it. So this is really the most important thing to me right now. Like, I'm commentating tomorrow. I have not done any research for that. I will start tonight because I've been looking forward to this podcast for a week. Everyone says, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket or always have a backup plan. And I agree with the eggs in basket thing with, like, investing. But with this, it's like, I could fail at this. This could die tomorrow. And then I'm just going to probably, like, become an electrician. If everything falls out, I'm not a commentator, I'm not in sports, something like that, I'm going to become an electrician. I'll make a living, but I'll hate it. So the pressure is always there. And with an entire high school watching you, whatever you say, everyone's going to end up seeing it. Or everyone's going to end up talking about it. So along with pressure of just making videos, there was a rumor about me every week. And, like, I'll say, like, half of them were true. I'm not going to say which ones were true and which weren't. But a lot of them weren't. And, like, it's weird. Like, I like getting recognized in public sometimes. And it's beautiful. And I love seeing these people like my content. But with the vlogs, I don't know if I'll ever make another one. I want to. Like, one day I'd love to make another cool one. But it wasn't. I never want to get famous off of vlogs. I never want to have. It would have been cool. I never wanted to make money off them. It wasn't even for me. 90% of the video is on the other side of the camera. I'm just holding it. It was for everyone. I made them right before COVID started, and then I kept doing it because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted everyone to just remember high school, and then they can show their kids. And you're even in one. Like, you can show your kids one day, like, hey, that was me in high school. And you can do it with your content as well.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest part to me, and I've gotten one text since college started of one person was crying, and they were like, I understand why you did the vlogs now. So it's beautiful to see that 180, but there was always pressure, and it was weird being looked at all of high school, but it was definitely fun.
I definitely think that the rumor thing definitely stands, because when I first started posting, I was, like, so scared of what people would say. Because, like, posting in high school is probably the scariest thing to do. Like, you see 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds posting at, like, a gym account, they're getting talked about.
Yeah.
They're 100% getting talked about by other people in their class. And some of it's good, some of it's going to be, wow, he looks great. A higher percentage of it is going to be, oh, this dude has a high ego. Oh, this dude thinks he's him, thinks he's that, all that. But honestly, after high school, you will realize that nothing matters. You will realize that not a single thing somebody thinks about you matters. And you can definitely relate to that because you noticed after you graduated, you're like, I'm never seeing 3/4 of these people ever again.
100%.
There is not a single person and something that they can say that's going to get in your way at that point. So if you're in high school and you're scared to post, I would definitely say just focus on yourself and don't do it for other people and don't not do it because of other people.
100%. I agree with that completely. Yeah, like, a big problem was I would be I edit all my videos and I still do. And in high school, and this is a big parallel between high school and out of high school, and this is why I'm saying, like, I made a big mistake in middle school even. I deleted 4 channels with a bunch of content. Now, I'll never see those videos again because I can't get them. They're not private. They're deleted. And that sucks. And every YouTuber has, like, a story like that. But while I was in high school, when I would edit at, like, 3 in the morning every time, I'd be editing and be like, oh, do I want so-and-so to react to this? Oh, this girl, what is she going to say if I put this in? Now, like, I do the mic'd up videos. I get comments from random people now. They're like, this is cringe. Or, like, you're built like a muffin. That one's funny, though. But, it's different. I don't care. And they've both watched me edit for hours. I'll put in stuff that they're like, Shane, it's kind of stupid. I'm like, I don't care. And it's, like, sucks. I don't like cursing. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about my content anymore. I'm here to, like, inspire people, and I want to change the world, like, positively, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird way to put it. But, yeah, I don't care what people think of my content anymore. I think I put out entertaining stuff, or at least informative stuff, and that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, so that's a great thing. You know what I mean? Like, getting over that, especially that fear of posting something you don't like, too. Like, posting something because you like it and letting the likes and follows come from who actually likes you for you. I think that a lot of people put on a mask for what's going to blow up, or I'm going to do this so that I blow up. But it more should be, I'm going to post what I want to post, and when it blows up, I'm going to keep recycling that. And a tip on TikTok, if you're posting, post 3 times a day, 3 different types of videos. Say you're posting gym content, right? This is the way you do it. 1 video, make it a transformation video. 1 video, make it posing. 1 video, make it you talking about lifting. And do those 3 for a week and see which category blows up. Say your transformation videos blow up. Keep posting transformation videos and keep recycling it, but you need to add a twist. Because at the end of the day, it's originality. Or I guess that's how you say it. Nobody wants to see the same thing every time. So if you find that one thing that makes you stand out and recycle it, keep posting that, you're just going to keep getting recognition and the algorithm will like you. So. Alright, so I do have a question for Bryce, because I'm not gonna lie, bro, and like this is no homo, like you have a beautiful voice. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like, and anybody can vouch for that. And like anybody laughing at home, you know I'm right. Like you're hearing this man talk, and you're like, damn, like that's a voice.
I'm not laughing at home, I'm laughing right here.
That's a voice you're gonna hear in like the background of like a movie. Like if you can get that down, like I think you got like extreme potential. Like that's even like speaking in the NFL. Like you need a dream. The higher you dream, the lower you might reach it, but it's still high. So like say you dream to be reffing the World Cup, even though you're not commentating. Say you dream to be a World Cup commentator, but you end up being an MLS commentator. You're an MLS commentator, you know what I mean? So I think if you just dream big, I think you have extreme potential. And I think that, like, what do you have plans to take this on a professional route, or?
Yeah, well, Jeff, that's the greatest compliment. The greatest compliment. And I appreciate that so much. A big thing is knowing people, and it's the network. Who you know and what you know is combined to amount to your success. So if you know a lot and you don't know anybody, you're not going to get anywhere because nobody's going to present opportunities to you. And if you know a lot of people and you have no talent, nobody's going to want to hire you. Nobody's going to want work from you. So a big thing right now is I'm trying to build my network. So, you know, we're here right now, and today's the first day I've met you, Jeff, and I could already tell we have a good connection. So building the network is the big thing right now. And then also getting skills and gaining skills and getting talent. So right now I'm trying to go to college and focus on journalism, focus on broadcasting, and hopefully have a career where I'm working for a company like ESPN or I'm anchoring. Or, you know, Bench1 Banter will continue to grow, and this is the company that I work for, you know, for the rest of my life. So I really appreciate the compliment about the voice. I hear it semi-frequently, but every time I hear it, it makes my entire day. But, you know, those are my plans right now. I'm just trying to continue to commentate, continue to interview, and do podcasting like this, and, you know, hopefully it just takes off.
Dude, that's great. Because I'm going to be honest, like, I'm 19, and I sound like a 15-year-old, and I hate it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been mad insecure about my voice, and, like, you got blessed with a great voice, like, on some, like, I don't know if you know the guy that was, like, praising Bobby Boucher in Waterboy.
Oh, yeah.
For, like, having hair. Like, you got the voice. So I think that if you just post on TikTok, run the Lord Quads method, you're going to make it somewhere. I think just consistency.
The Lord Quads method.
You got a future.
That's great. I love that idea. The Lord Quads method.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff, you know, with the entire TikTok page you got going now and the bodybuilding and everything now, I mean, you're only 19. When you're 6 feet under, when you're in your grave, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember you?
Honestly, I more want it to be I'm gonna be honest. I started all of it to prove a point, to prove I could do it. I felt like that was one thing that drove me to chase my goals. But I really just want to be remembered as somebody that, like, I know saying never gave up is like a strong word, but I have tried and recycled so many things. I have a video on my Lord Quads account from like 7 years ago. It's a Black Ops 2 quick scoping montage. I swore I was going into phase. And I was posting Call of Duty content all over YouTube. All my videos are privated, but I didn't delete any of them. I started with Call of Duty videos, became a god at Fortnite. I was posting Fortnite videos, even though it was cringe. It was like peak Fortnite, so it was like cool.
I haven't.
It was cool.
Mine are still up.
It was cool. So I was posting Fortnite videos, and then I tried the lifting videos, and like, I even tried like I was flipping, like I was doing backflips, like fulls. I was gonna do like gymnastics videos, and I just kept trying everything, and nothing seemed to work. Like I felt like I just tried it, and I was like, oh, this didn't work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give up. And then when the lifting videos started taking off, it really like, I feel like the message is never give up, because everyone through high school knew I was posting these videos, so I was getting clowned. And I just never, like, lost that drive to make it. I just wanted to make a name for myself and just never give up.
Alright, well, Jeff, this was an amazing first episode, amazing first guest. So thank you guys for watching, talking about talking. It was a pleasure having you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, as much as I don't like to say that. And, yeah, we'll see you guys for episode 2. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. No, we're ending there. We're not doing all this.
Okay,